Hello. So I thought I'd get serious and emotional for a moment and talk about something I learned during my time looking for a new job and so forth. And the topic of discussion will be dealing with rejection. And no, I'm not talking about relationships, I'm talking about jobs. So you've probably, if you've watched any of my talks about how it is to look for a job as a programmer, or at least from my experience, of course. I mean, all of this is from my perspective. Your results may vary, or your experience may vary. Anywho, you're going to see that even if it is true, there are a lot of jobs on the market, but just because the demand for programmers is high doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's hiring everybody willy-nilly. So sooner or later you're gonna have to deal with rejection, and I mean it's just a fact of life that you're not going to be a good fit for everything. Like just the other day I did forget about a few of the companies I was supposed to get back to now that I got my new job, and there's been a lot of stuff, but a company that at the time I spoke to them, and I felt that it was a bit of a waste of my time. I could really feel that I was a bad fit for that company. Like, we didn't click in any way, and basically as I kind of suspected, they called me up and said that we're gonna go with other candidates and so forth. I mean, that's not the first time I've been turned down for a position at the company, but it still feels bad, I'm gonna be honest. And so what I said, all I can really do is to try to relate to you some of the things that I try to think about when you're in that situation, because a lot of us, I think, get discouraged by this, especially if it's happening quite often. Trust me, when you start, especially when you're looking for your first job, the fear is going to be monstrous. You are going to be afraid, and I want to tell you right now that fear, it becomes less as time moves on, but it's extra hard in the beginning, and I don't think you ever completely get over that fear. I mean, that's how it is. I am pretty sure that people who have been doing this for 15-20 years are still a little bit, they get butterflies in their stomach and so forth when it comes time to look for a new position or something like that, because it's never a done deal. There's always this unknown in the equation, right? And unknown things scare us humans. So as somebody who's looking for your first job, all I can say is that you have to swallow that pill. You have to, because it gets easier. But if you're really serious about wanting to be a developer and so forth, because there is a lot of risk involved in this in comparison to a lot of other professions, because here it's not just a technical profession, it's also a skill-based profession, and there are a lot of companies out there with a lot of different values and views. I mean, you can be accepted at Google and be rejected at another very small company. You see, it's all up to the company, and it's almost as being being a model or an actor or something, that you will feel like they're judging you based on you. There are all these subtle things that companies go for, or they feel reject, all these things that make them make a decision whether or not to hire you. And sometimes it can be really personal. At the company I was talking to, that I was rejected by, I was told that my technical skills were really good, but my social skill, I wasn't a good fit for their working environment. And and on the flip side, where I'm working now, or rather the next job, that it's the exact opposite. My social skills and how well I fit into the environment was the thing that wanted them to hire me. I made them want to hire me. So my tip to you for dealing with rejection and kind of don't take the rejection so hard, because it's very, very rare that it's just your fault. Trust me, I don't know you, and I can't say that, like, I'm not saying that you're perfect. I don't think you would say that about yourself. But if you get rejected by one company, that's not the end of the world, because as I said, don't think about it as it's being your fault. There's a lot of things that can be wrong on their end. Their process can be wrong. Their value system could be wrong. They could have just had the person hiring you could be the person who is could have just that day had a bad impression of you. So there are, don't judge yourself too hard. Just keep on moving. Like, sorry. Yeah, he's passed safely now. So what I'm trying to say is that don't judge yourself too harshly. Like, try to continuously improve yourself, because the worst thing you can do is to allow the criticism that you feel, or the rejection that you feel, to take overhand and stop you from moving forward. And I made a promise to myself a long time ago, and that was that, because I'm gonna be honest, I was scared as all hell. I'm still scared. Shit. Even though I've been doing this for a few years, my new job scares the shit out of me. I'm asking myself every day, can I do this? Will I be able to, to perform at this new job? And like, it's, even though the people there are amazing, I mean, I barely know them. I already love them. They are amazing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to perform, and so that fear is always there in some sense. But you shouldn't let that stop you from taking a stab at it. And the promise I made to myself was that even if I'm fired from my first 15 jobs, I will keep on applying for positions and continuously try to learn new things and become better and better and better, because I will not let rejection stop me from doing what I really want. And I really want to be a programmer. I love it so much. And that mentality to promise you, like, that's the best tip I can give you. Don't judge yourself too harshly, and just keep on pushing regardless of how much rejection you face, because sooner or later you are going to find something great at the end of that journey. Trust me.